Morning, everybody. We are still, what's it actually? We have the title, yeah, Vibe Coding at Dune.com clone. That is correct. And finally, we have something to show. We have this thing here where we run against the database and we fetch some data. So we have a basic end-to-end solution, proof of concept. And now it is about delivering it and making it actually useful and making sure the live data is correct. And maybe looking a little bit more into the high-level design. But so far, I'm pretty happy. So how I want to start today is by maybe just pushing the limits a bit and see how far we can get with it. So what I will do is I will open up this tab here and load our actual live table, and then we compare it and we will try to replicate it as good as possible. And we will take some notes about what is working and what isn't working. So the thing that we have is we have all these pivot tables here. And so we want to see if we can create the same patterns. And so the first thing I see that I actually would like to have is a duplicate button. So I would like to be able in the edit mode to duplicate a component so that I can create more similar components. Okay, then another thing that I would like to see actually, or would like to try is I want to have a grouped bar chart and I want to have the dot values. So like we have it here. Okay, so that seems to be working. What do we have here? I mean, this would now mirror this, and okay, the problem is it doesn't really make sense logically. Okay, but it works semantically. Good. So okay, the thing that we obviously have here is that we have it categorized and we need to add the categories. And so this might be a little bit more work. So I want to front load this here and have it and start this process first. Because here you see these beautiful categories and we have the stacked bar chart. Okay. So maybe let's get this work started because this will take a bit. So I'm gonna start a new session in Claude and I will actually take this sheet here, referenda, and I will see if I can match this somehow into our existing database. Yeah, let's see about that. So I'm gonna download this as comma separated values referenda. Okay, and I will pose a problem to our lovely agent. So I have this exploration folder here where I can put stuff. Okay, and now I will ask a question. So, enter plan mode. In Q4, okay, you can see that in exploration, you can't even see the whole folder. Is it maybe in Git ignore? No, it is. Okay, now you should see it in exploration. Okay, let me start again. Save, Claude, at the plan node. In exploration, okay, you can see the folder Q4. No. In exploration, categories. Okay, okay. Obviously, he should not see the file actually because it's not something that that the bot can read. In exploration categories.csv, you find a template. No, you find the current mappings of referenda to. And then we have the same. We have the same. So this is categories referenda. Then we have another file where we have the same for child bounties. Downloads, CSV. So in referenda, and then our other file. Categories, child bounties. So in and exploration categories, child bounties. You can find the current mappings of referenda of line items to categories and subcategories. I would like to find a process where we can. How do we do it? I would say we deploy it to one location on the web, and then it's an example from there where we can configure maybe a canonical URL where a categories mappings file can be retrieved by the backend script. Maybe we can just embed it now. Okay, let's draw this. Let's go to Figma. Because now the process is getting more complex. Live stream, nope. Okay, so we're having our application, and we have the how do we call this, the scraper, the updater. So we have the updater. This is a backend process, and this writes into our SQLite database, right? So it sort of updates. And then we have our client application server. And this one sort of, it pulls data and it writes data. So we're drawing the connection, the direction in which data flows. Okay, and now we have a file called categories. Yeah. And these categories are, they live somewhere, but it should not be the database because we don't want it to get wiped. We want to actually pull it and retrieve it additionally. So we could say it lives with the updater. And then we could overwrite it on the client. We could make it something that the application points to. Like we give it a URL or we send the data here, then we write it here. This actually makes sense. So then let's deploy it with the, let's say the client can write this because that's already the case. And then we just do a little bit of a hard-coded piece here. Yep, I think that's the best. Okay, so up to design the feature. In exploration categories, you find the current mappings of line items together. I would like to find a process where we can configure. Okay, so the front end shall be extended such that a simple CSV with columns ID, category, subcategory can be imported. And the entries would be set in categories in referenda and child bounties. Furthermore, I want you to transform the not only that, there is not only that, we also want to have the height. We also want to be able, okay, but that's the next step, notes. And I want you to transform the notes and hide from income statement. Let's see if that is all we want. Referenda, hide from income statement. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah. The front end shall be extended such that simplicity is with notes hide can be imported and the entries would be set in referenda and child bounties. Furthermore, I want the, where do we put this? I want no, let's not put it in exploration. Let's put it in data. No, let's put it. I want default files derived from the exploration files and providing you to be placed in data. In the front end, there is also a button to apply defaults. Okay, so, and we do this for the category screen. No, we do this. Where do we do this? Manage. We do this in a referenda screen. We could actually nope. So these the front end shall be extended such that the user can visit the referenda and child bounty screen and set the categories, subcategories, nodes, and hide fields. This button would sit on the how do we apply the defaults? This button would sit in a new settings, sync settings screen that sits in the manage section. The sync settings allow, yeah, that's good. And then we will add more data here. No. Oh, God. There is a button to apply defaults. This button will sit in the sync settings screen, new, in the manage section. So what did I write? Yeah, on the front end screens, referenda and child bounties, the user can change the categories and subcategories from drop-downs. The nodes text and the hide from income statement, and that would be a Boolean toggle. Boolean, what is it? Checkbox. I think that's it. Let's go with that and plan that feature out. Okay, while we're planning this, we can continue with our notes taking. So dashboard, duplicate button, categories. Categories is in the works. Okay, a small change here is dashboard overview. Clicking the whole line should open the dashboard. The edit button should be replaced. Should be removed. What is it? What fields do we have? Instead, name and description can be changed on the dashboard details screen in edit mode. That's it. Okay, agent here is looking into this. Okay, let's see what else we need to copy this. Yeah, so this should be possible. We have evaluations here, but I'm not sure if I want them. But that should be actually possible once you allow query editing. So query editing is roughly here. This is a small change. So I can spawn that in a second agent. So what do we do here? We do the categories. So let me do another agent. Enter plan mode. So these are UI fixes. Okay, should I build query editing? Yes, I think we will need it and might have some test effort. So Claude, query editing. The database schema for referender childmount is currently only as category and subcategory columns. Should I also add notes text and hide Boolean columns? Yes, both. Notes and hide in income. No, hide and spends. For the referender child bounty screens, how should the inline editing work? Editable columns in table, yes. Okay, query editing, enter plan mode. In the dashboard component, edit component modal. I want the user to be able to not only use the wizard, but also have the opportunity to write the query themselves. Just a second. So, okay, have the opportunity to write query themselves. I would say how do you do this? When the user, but I think most of the queries you will use the wizard. By default, a user will always use the wizard. Within the edit component view, there is the option to actually, no, actually, I just need the columns to, like, I need evaluated columns. I just need evaluated columns. Don't need to change the rest for now. Yeah, I guess. To be able to define their own columns, which are results of expressions. Actually, that's it. It's not more complex than that. Is it? I don't know yet. Maybe I should not do it when I'm not sure. Like here, we want to have an expression, and this expression says add these three together. Okay, so we can do this as an expression. Yep, no, it's that. So let's do that. Okay, so we have a plan for the categories. So add CSV import capability for bulk categorization of referenda and child bounties, along with inline editing capabilities and new sync settings page. Okay. Database schema will be extended. Types will be updated. API will be extended with patch. Nice. And bulk import endpoints. Okay. New sync API. Oh, okay, that's a route. Add import sync methods. Yeah. Sync settings, CSV, parsing utilities. Okay. Add editable column. Add editable column, right? Handle inline updates and default mapping files. This looks good. Let's try it out. The only thing I'm irritated by is the sync. If it like did not over-interpret this. But this looks good. Yeah, this looks good. Lovely. Okay, UI fixes. Dashboard list. Make entire row clickable to navigate to dashboard. Remove the edit button and edit dialog. Add stop propagation to delete button so it doesn't trigger navigation. Good. Dashboard edit page. Add editable inputs for name and description. Add save functionality for the metadata. Good. Lovely. Do it. Enter plan mode in the dashboard edit component model. I want the user to be able to define their own columns, which are results of expressions. Yes. You want to read. Okay. Okay, so we are doing evaluations. We might not do query editing. So the duplicate button. Well, then let's do the duplicate button. At the plan mode, in the dashboard edit mode, next to the in components, there are buttons to reload, edit, delete. I want to have a duplicate button there. When I press the duplicate button, the duplicated component gets added at the next possible position at the end. Very simple. Good, categories are being built, UI fixes are done. Query editing, okay. What operations should expression column support? Basic arithmetic only. Arithmetic and comparison. Yeah, you want to do full support, but it is okay if the user can write them. You just need to make sure they are properly validated. So give the user to write them. Where should the expression be evaluated? Client side, server side. How should users reference columns in expression? Column picker and insert, direct column, variable syntax. How should user reference columns in expressions? Free text. Basically free text that becomes part of the query. So this is on the maybe list. Okay, now how to deploy. What we will need to deploy it is we will need to have either authentication. Yeah, we will need some form of authentication. So that's something we have to build at some point, not too soon. Duplicate button. Okay. Add a duplicate button to dashboard components in edit mode. When clicked, the component is duplicated and placed at the next available position at the bottom of the dashboard. Dashboard component on duplicate callback. Dashboard grid on duplicate component. Front end. Well, what about the backend? What about the backend? API. UI fixes. This is the dashboard overview. Duplicate button. No updates needed. The existing post components endpoint already supports creating new components with all required fields. The front end will simply call this endpoint. Nice, good, lovely. I love it. Go ahead. Yeah, previously I extended this command. So I have a command that's called docs test push. Basically, it tells it to update the docs and the specification, build unit tests if needed, and then push everything. Lovely. Whoops. Okay, I see. Good. Okay, let's test this. Yeah, that looks a bit sad. Edit. Hello world. Does it work? It works. Works. One small change. In edit mode, the font should be similar to what it is in view mode. Good. Query editing. Approach. Freeform SQL expressions stored in expressions column array in query config. Server-side validation with blocked patterns, injection keywords. And allowed functions, whitelist. Yeah, okay. Column references validated against the selected table's actual columns. Yeah. Simple text area UI in the query builder with available columns hint. Okay. Blocks SQL injection patterns. Good. Whitelists common SQL functions. Validates all identifiers against actual table columns. I think this is the point where we then should have a security audit also. Max expression lengths of 500 characters. Some advanced SQL features are blocked subqueries custom functions. The whitelist can be expanded if users need more functions using text real good. Okay. Duplicate button. Wow, it was eating up the full context. So, no, that didn't work. Look at it, please. Is it running for different Claude instance? How is it working? I wonder if it can see that the size is different. Does look a bit smaller than you would. The view mode title first is much larger. Interesting. Okay. Good. Duplicate button. The font now matches. Sweet. Thank you. Cool. Cool, thanks. Can you change the position? Swap the position of the view dashboard and add component buttons. Good. Duplicate button. So this works. Did it add it on? It did add it on the bottom. Oh. Can you improve the positioning logic so that it puts it right of another component at the bottom if possible? Okay, so the categories is done. Sync settings, interesting. Upload. This is very good, very good. How does your input does your import first put them into the categories table and then reference by ID? Or how does it work? Or did we overlook this? Okay, update what we have so far add unit tests if necessary, then refactor the code to actually use the categories table in the process. Enter plan mode. View edit is okay. Edit. Duplicate. Okay. Very good. After duplication, please, how does it work when a new item is added? Update docs. After duplication and when adding a new component, the UI should scroll to the new component and briefly highlight it at the plan mode. Good. Categories. Okay, I think we're frozen everywhere, so you could actually do that. It's asking to use a slash command. And it is calling it skill now instead of slash command. Query editing. Okay, so let me test that. Where is it here? So we want to have delete lit. Okay, we want to have quarterly by components. So I want to add a component, quarterly by component, and I want it to be a table, and it should go to all spending and should go by quarter, and then dot component, USDC component, USDT component, and then sum of USD. And then, okay, so, and these are some, whoops, some, and some. We go by quarter, and then we want to have a calculated column. And it's the stablecoin ratio. I made a space and made an underscore. Okay, and then I want this to be what is it? This divided by this, so it would be some USDC component plus, okay, so it would be some USDC component plus some USDT component divided by sum of USD latest as the stablecoin ratio. Preview, does it render? Oh, syntax error. Okay. Docs test push. Do you want to make an edit to frontend MD? Yes, allow edits. Okay. When we will be compacting soon. Good. Okay, then let's add authentication. Enter plan mode. Want to introduce user authentication and only let authenticated users access the manage section. What do we actually want? Edit refer render child count is editable fields and change dashboards. Over time, there will be additional editable features in the front end, so there needs to be a general area where only the authenticated users may edit them. Let's discuss system design first. Okay, the plan is ready. It involves dashboard grid, scroll to component via scroll to view, capture new component ID from API response, set highlight state clear after 2 seconds, add pulsing box shadow animation. Sounds good? Cool. Add only files that relate to your changes. Okay, I have an issue. With calculated. Is someone testing? We have really long running tasks now. I have an issue with the calculated columns. What was it? Do I have to write it again? No. Okay, let me add the component again. Quarterly by components. This is a table of all spending by quarter, by dot component, USDC component, USDT component, USD. We want to have a sum over everything. And we want to group it by quarter. That's the first thing we want to have. Now we want to edit it. And we want to have a calculated column, and the expression is sum USDT. What the goods? stablecoin ratio. By sum divided by sum of USD latest. So I think we're having a problem here. Ah, does it work now? Works now. Yeah, it actually does. It actually does. So we're not having a problem then. Did I have a syntax issue? Yes. Okay. Good. So then let me edit. I think that works. Very good. So categories. How should the input use the categories table? What's the desired behavior? Yes. How many users need access to the protected features? I don't know. One or many? Let's say multiple. We won't use sessions. Individual credentials. What authentication method do you prefer? Simple password. Username and password. Username plus password, stored as salted hash. How should unauthenticated users experience the app? Hide protected sections. Yes. Okay, so we should get 2. Didn't work yet. Two. Okay, how that works, the scroll doesn't. Where should user credentials be stored? The SQLite database. No rules, all users are equal. Storage server. Whoa, what's happening? Categories. Okay. Okay, that is bigger than I thought. Plan is complete. So normalize the database. Replace 4 pairs of category subcategory text columns with single category ID foreign keys. Yes. Auto-create categories during import. Since our import will create missing categories automatically. Yes. Propagate renames. Yeah. Combine UI elements. Single category selector cell instead of separate drop downs. No. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, it would allow to continue with actually subcategories, which we do have. So maybe yes. Okay, then yes, then let's fold category and subcategory. Oh no, that's actually good. It's actually good. It's actually good. Just say yes. No, I want to ask a question. Why only have a single category field in the UI? How should users be created? Command line interface. First user via command line interface, then UI. Command line. What session duration works for you? Do we want this as a server thing? We could actually have it completely local and it just pulls everything. Which would be actually more decentralized, if you think about it. Could the user have a local SQLite database? No, I think it should We should have a server component. Okay, let's think about this a bit longer. So, does it work? Are you happy? Yep, works. Yeah, almost works. That's better, but if the component, if the new component is the first component in the row, we only scroll to the header instead of showing the whole component. Okay. Whoa. Wrong. So the question is, where would it be deployed? Because if we want to deploy it, we have to change more about the architecture, because then there has to be a backend store. Or it is something that weirdly lives in your browser. Okay, let's specify it, but just put it in a specification document. And then we come up with an alternative idea. Okay, categories. Since the categories table has rows like category and subcategory, you need to select both category and subcategory to get the specific category ID. UI options, keep 2 columns. Category dropdown and subcategory dropdown. The subcategory selection determines the final category ID. Display stays the same, just the stored values change. Combine cell with 2 dropdowns. Single dropdown with combined labels. I would just keep it combined cell, 2 dropdowns. Make a cool component where it's a single thing, but I have the left component, the left category part, and then category drop down, and then the arrow, and then I can select these subcategories based on the category, but make it cool. Okay, what do we have here? Lovely. Please put this in the this as a spec in the exploration folder. We don't implement it now. Okay, so duplication, does it work? Swoop, this works. And the second one, swoop. That's half better. No. I need to see the full component. Okay, what do we have here? Categories. Ah, yes, lots of changes. Wow, that's a lot. Replace category and subcategory text in referender, child bounties, bounties, and subtreasure tables with category ID integer column that references the categories table. Single source of blah, 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 yada yada. Migration steps for each unique in tables ensure existing categories. Add category ID column in each table. Update category ID by looking of category. Drop old category column. Yeah, okay, maybe. Run migration. There is nothing to migrate. Okay, but there is nothing to migrate yet. You can skip that. Authentication. So will you write this into a document? Will you write this into a document? I will trust you, but I watch you. I don't want you to do it. I just want it in a document. Casually burning 10,000 tokens. Okay, writing an authentication spec. Good. Okay, add the plan mode. Now we want to explore an alternative concept. How would we have to deploy the application so the user can run it in their own browser for the most part? What parts do need to be provided by this server? Okay. So duplicate button using now using manual scroll calculation. Let's see about that. Whoop. Looks good. And the second one. Whoop. Still not working. Still not working. Still not working. How about just scrolling to the end? And continue. Okay, so update read queries. Okay, apply schema change, add category lookup, get all spending query, API routes. API routes. Cascading category selector component. Lovely. Okay, let's do it. What's the primary goal of moving to browser first? Minimize or need. What is my actual motivation here? I want it to be resilient, or am I just lazy? Maybe I'm just lazy. But it would be cool. It would be cool to just run it on the client. We will write it as a concept, and then we will write the concept of how to deploy it on the server. Minimize simple deployment, experimental tests out, decentralization, and Web3. Allow write operations. Yes, full. How should data stay up to date? Periodic. User triggered sync. Question is if users even wanted this. Still not. It is still just scrolling half. Is it possible there is a time delay issue? Maybe it scrolls to the end and then creates the component. This is a fascinating exploration. Whoa. Try it now. Okay, trying it now. Bam. Good enough. Good enough. Docs test push. Okay, so we have a concept for an online deployment. What runs in a browser? SQL.js, SQLite in WebAssembly, SimCris, current API, all CRUD, persistent VI DexDB, total footprint 1.2 MB. $0 infrastructure cost. Users own their data locally. Works offline after sync. No shared state between users. Yeah. Export import instead. Price data needs periodic snapshots. Okay. Browser first architecture. Backend Python. Okay, so we would actually need to replace move transformation to browser, pre-transformed data snapshots, static hosting. Okay, write that concept into exploration. Now I need to get update the get out spanning query. Broken all spanning view. Okay, so we're writing all of this into a concept now. And then we do a concept of how we properly deploy it. Okay, enter plan mode. Now let's explore how to do a regular deployment into the cloud. Let's pick Google Cloud as an example. Complete study about how to auto scroll. Okay, so we're in study mode here, and here we have categories, subcategories being built. Once we have that, I think, let's see, but I think we have most of what we need, because we have stacked bar charts, we have pie charts, we have the category import, which we will need to test, but that's it for the most part. Looks like should be able to do a lot of stuff, which is a great achievement for today, because maybe we are done in the next hour and I am done for today. This would be great. So And then there is maybe some small, nice, cute improvements that we can make, but it's good. It's good already. Okay, what's your priority for the deployment? Easy to set up and maintain, even if slightly more expensive. Handle many users, production grade. I would say lowest cost and simplicity. Should the Python backend run continuously or on a scheduled hourly? What about the database? I would say we migrate to Postgres. Okay, I'm gonna ask for an AI example for this. Give me examples of using SQLite versus Postgres in a Google Cloud deployment. The thing is, Cloud Run can go down at any point in time. And it's not reliable. Edge-ish, offline first. Okay. So Postgres makes no sense. Okay, so how much does Cloud SQL cost? Pay as you go. You pay hourly for the instance as long as it's running. You pay per gigabyte per month. So it's like $30 per month. $100, $250. Can we get around it? Persistent disk. And how do solutions with SQLite and persistent disk or cloud storage look like?
So you have a thing with fun. Tschüss.
Good. I mean, for that, SQLite on persistent disk. Cloud Run plus SQLite on container file system. Scale job copies the DB file to a cloud storage bucket for backup. You can enforce one instance, no horizontal scaling, and keep concurrency low enough to avoid unpleasant edge cases. You accept that this is serverless, but not multi-instance. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we have Cloud Run and then SQLite on a container file system. Sounds cheap, but maybe, like, what does it cost? That could be. Okay, Cloud Run plus cloud storage volume mode. GKE, Google, Compute Engine VM plus SQLite on persistent disk. Yeah, this is the clean solution. You don't need high availability. We don't need high availability. We can run a single instance. That's fine. Because there's not going to be a lot of users. So we Cloud Run. But the Cloud Run instance goes down. Store from last backup. Actually, I have two application parts. We have the one that updates, and then we're just reading from it. Okay, maybe let's explain architecture. So the architecture, but no, because the front end is also writing. So we have, okay, back to the graphic. So we have a client. So we have the guy that is reading, watching, using the consumer. And then we have an editor. I think we should go for a clean setup, not play around. What's the difference? What's GKE? Google Kubernetes Engine. Google Kubernetes Engine. So compare the pricing between Cloud Run, GKE, and single VM. We're updating the docs, so it's possible we're ready.
Sorry.
Look what I found. Small Cardano sleeper agent. Not yet ready to sleep. Or is he? Or is he? Maybe he is. Gut, wieder schauen. So, okay, we're comparing the pricing between Cloud Run, Google Kubernetes Engine, and single VM. So, okay, Cloud Run, you pay for the time you're online, CPU and memory in the billable instance time. And it's more expensive than a single VM per time, but you can optimize it to have run less of it, I guess. Other instance-based billing, CPU always allocated, you pay for the entire lifetime of the instance with a minimum billing unit. Spiky traffic is very cheap. Steady, always on work. Behaves more like a VM. Has a free tier for request-based billing. That would be fantastic. And I know it has a little bit of latency. Okay, Google Kubernetes Engine, you pay for cluster management fee, 10 cents per cluster hour flat. And the underlying compute, which is essentially compute engine pricing plus disks. Compute engine plus disks and networking. So for a small single app, the cluster fee alone is $73 per month. Wow. Before you pay for any nodes. Okay, maybe not. Rule of thumb comparison. Spiky, bursty traffic, idle most of the time. I mean, that's our thing actually. Always on API, steady load, single instance. So previously I was running it with Cloud Run. I don't know, whatever. Region doesn't matter. Region doesn't matter. Traffic is very sparse. We have two processes. One that updates hourly into the DB, and then users coming irregularly to check out the data. Backend. Frontend, users coming irregularly to check out the data. The frontend process also has data to write, but we could separate that into a different DB. Python for now, but can be refactored, I guess. Okay, subcategories should be ready. So we are basically coming to a similar conclusion like I've been in the past. Did almost the same thing in the past. Cloud Run plus SQLite, or like something stored in cloud storage. Oh, the VM is so cheap. Persistent disk. Single compute engine VM and persistent disk, and this would be actually easy to manage. Okay, I want to get the exact pricing on option 2. I know there is a calculator somewhere. Google Cloud Pricing Calculator. Bing. Okay, let's run the calculator. I want to, was it compute engine? Yeah. Okay, so I want to have a compute engine instances sole tenant nodes. What is this? Number of instance. I don't know, keep it on all the time. Provisioning model. Regular VMs have a higher cost hourly rate and they are available 24/7, giving you full control of when to start and stop it. Spot VMs, on the other hand, have a lower cost hourly rate and are self-preempted, which means they are stopped at any point within 24 hours after being started. So I don't know, man. Preemptible. Weird. General purpose. Can be cheap, right? Can be cheap. Flexible and cost optimized. Ooh, E2. E2 micro, a quarter of a CPU. 1 GB of RAM. Is it enough? Is it enough? How can we know? Let's find out. Let's just ask. How much do I need for React React for a React server with a SQLite connection? It depends. Balanced persistent disk. I see. Boot size disk, 10 gigabytes, more than enough. Doesn't get cheaper. Doesn't get more expensive. Interesting. Okay. So half a CPU and 1 gigabyte. What is it? Server-side rendering? Oh, I don't think so. Okay, half a CPU and what was it? 1 gigabyte? Yeah, I don't know. This looks fun. This looks fun. I could even take a full CPU. I could even take 2 gigabytes. Ah, that's okay. And CPU. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's do that, and then let's give Claude control of it. Okay, so that answers our question, and we can book that later. Okay, so we can tell it we will pick Cloud Compute Engine plus persistent disk. Good. Okay, then we will do that, and we will move it to a regular VM. That's fun. Refactor categories to use for, and then maybe we can, because I just learned from my son that he will be giving me some time today. So we actually have time to deploy it in the cloud if we want. Good, so the categories are complete. Okay, then let's take a look at that. Swap. Okay, maybe we need to restart the server. Okay, so when opening so how is it started? How do you reach it? It's a full server config. Whoa. Okay. Recommended single E2 micro VM, Nginx, Node.js, Python backend on one VM, SQLite on persistent disk. Whoop. Only cron job for data sync. PM2 for process management. What is PM2? What is PM2? Node.js is the process manager. Monitor and keep Node applications alive in production. Good. This is still in the free tier. Interesting. I think it wasn't in the past. So easy to set up and maintain, scheduled backend, Python fetcher runs hourly via cron. SQLite on persistent disk. Sounds good. GCP services used. Compute engine E2 micro. Persistent disk. External API. Cloud storage. Front-end hosting. We don't need that. Front-end caching, I see. All in one VM. Okay, so we would be running Nginx. We have port 80 where the website is. Nice. We have a cron job that runs the script. More complex setup. Cold starts on Cloud Run. Yeah, but we don't need Cloud Run. I see. Yeah, okay. You know what? Let's do that. Let's deploy it. We might even get a domain. We'll put OpenGov Watch also on it. Oh, okay. First we need to fix our bugs. Okay. Category none. Good. So we could go to the sync settings and we can apply our defaults. Default referender categories. This is not a lot. Referender. Okay. Yeah, we need to do a full sync. But I guess what we have is good enough. So let's push that and prepare moving the stuff and deploying it on the cloud. Finally, we're deploying proper servers again. Okay. Okay, so compute engine Sounds great. Please write the setup please write down in the docs description of the setup, deployment instructions. A file with potential changes that we need to do to the repo to get it deployment ready. Yeah, go ahead. And we don't need it containerized, I guess. How can we automate Google Cloud deployments? I always have done this manually, but it's not fun to do it manually. Terraform. Okay, so we will actually add our user mode. Okay, so, oh, you put it in exploration. Good, yeah. Deploy. Yeah, I wanted to have this in docs actually. No, we do this differently. Okay, if I use Terraform, okay. Do I understand Google Compute Engine correctly that if I want to change to a bigger CPU, more RAM, I need to move everything? Or is it stored on the persistent disk and you can just swap out the machine? Okay, and let's say I want to deploy different websites from different repos to the same machine. How would I do that? I wonder if it is part of the Terraform script. One process per site. Okay, but do I do this in Terraform? And then CI deploys the individual apps whenever I commit. Yeah, okay, but I see. How expensive in compute and money is approach A? wide IP. So I either need the Google load balancer or I need a public IP. Game is private. Cloud Run. Or I use Cloud Run, right? Because this is how I have been doing it. There's one reason Cloud Run feels simple. I see. Okay, so wait, what was it? Cloud calculator. So you add compute engine instance. Region, I don't know, I don't care. Doesn't change the pricing. Frankfurt. Zurich. Ooh, we're getting more expensive. Okay, US Central. Commuted use discount option. So do I have an option for an IP address here? No. Using ephemeral public IP. Ephemeral. So how does an ephemeral public IP work? How does an ephemeral public IP address work? Temporary. So, but how? Cost the same as static IPs. Well, public. Static. Okay, it's not much more expensive. $1. Okay, and then is that it? Yeah, so E2 small. Okay, so dollar difference balanced. Stand. We can change it later, I guess. Can we? Confidential VM service. Okay, so okay, so even for a compute engine with a small VM, I should run containers. No, you don't have to. But yes, in your situation, it's usually a better choice. One app, one runtime. Yeah. Okay. So to get this right, Terraform sets up the VM, but not the container info. Who sets up the containers? And then the containers get updated through push build. GitHub Actions. Okay, so Terraform creates the compute engine VM, attaches persistent disk, allocates static external IP, sets firewall rules, installs the startup script, creates service accounts, does not manage individual containers, app versions, redeploys. Yeah. Base machine configuration, one-time setup. There are two sane answers, both are valid. One-time bootstrap on the VM. You want SSH into the VM, install Docker, Docker Compose. Okay, you basically set up everything manually, or it's Terraform plus startup script. Injects the startup script that, yeah. Okay, please write. A spec for that. For I don't know, option A, option B, more formal startup script. Option B. Okay, enter plan mode. We change the plan. We are going to containerize. So do we containerize both parts? I mean, we need the how we still keep SQLite. Well, we keep the deployment on one Docker instance. Yeah. Containerize this thing. single VM plus Docker Compose via startup script per repo CI deploy. Capable of running multiple websites from different repos. Ensure the VM is self-bootstrapping on first boot. It installs Docker Compose and starts to decide container stack automatically. Standardize a per repo CI/CD flow where each app can deploy independently by building and pushing an image and triggering a targeted service on the VM. Persist state on a persistent disk mounted on the VM. Okay, so the way this is going to work is that I start a new repo here. Open folder, code, and this is, how do we call, what domain will we use? I don't know, whatever, it's the server setup. Alrighty, okay, so spec. Hey, you are going to set up a VM on Google Cloud today. It saw that I have a file open. I wanted to surprise it. Wow, it's like going into planning mode without going into planning mode. Do you already have a GCP project set up with billing enabled? Yes. Need to install. What website services will run on this VM initially? I have specific Docker images to deploy. Start with a hello world container. Okay, so I need to get my Cloud Console ready, and I need to set up a new project. And the project will be called now I need a domain, right? We're writing Docker Compose. We're writing containers. I see. Well, what's going on? Okay, containerized deployment. Deploy Docker file. Okay, we're going to change the plan. So the way it will, wait, but how do we set up the deployment via GitHub? So how does the deployment via GitHub work then? Do we need a runner/service on our VM? You do not need a run a GitHub runner service on your VM for this to work. The normal pattern is GitHub hosted runner executes your workflow in GitHub's infra. It builds and pushes your container image to a registry. Artifact registry. Okay. It SSHs into your VM and runs a couple of commands. What? This is the simplest and most common approach. A deploy user non-root with permission to run Docker. Wow. No GitHub agent, no runner. I see, interesting. Okay, so domain. I need to come up with a funny domain, right? Okay. gcloud is installed and working. You just need Terraform. Here's how to install it. I see. Install, installing Terraform right now. How can I update gcloud? Terraform. Doesn't work. Terraform. I installed Terraform and it said a lot has changed since the last upgrade. For the latest full release notes, please visit. Yeah, okay. Go ahead. It says it worked out, but I can't reach it via command line as it said. Okay, so we're deploying, updating Google Cloud, we're installing Terraform. Restart your terminal. Ah, okay, good. It's working. How is, what is going on? Maybe I need to close this shell here too. Bang. Plot. Resume. Try it. Yeah. Creating update stage area. Okay, it's still working on that. Okay, so Google Cloud Installer. Error, G-Cloud crashed. Oh no. So okay. Okay, so the way it works is that I will set up a VM via Terraform plus start up script, and then for your repo I will connect the container via GitHub action, something like this. So you just need to take care about your own containerization. Why do I need update rights? Google Cloud SDK shell. Cloud SDK shell. Nope. G. Actually, maybe, I don't know. So you need my project ID. Okay. What do we call the project? I think it's immutable after you created it, right? Yeah. Okay, so we need to come up with a cool project name because it's gonna be baked in forever. I was just on a website. I was just on a website figuring, okay, what could be a cool project name? Okay, it's fun. It's fun surfing for domains. Sorry, I got distracted. Okay, you can go ahead and containerize yourself. What about the Google? Okay, I will pick a domain. It will take. Ooh. So there is actually still a bunch of free domains where you would expect that they are actually taken. What's up with you, Google? Are you updating? There's actually nothing happening in the Google Cloud update process. Okay, I feel like I have a few good options. Okay, I'm gonna take notes now on the good options that I see. Okay, I think we were gonna have at least a good domain. So this is not the Google process is not doing anything. Was it too early? Ah, okay. I was thinking it's broken. So because I also have to pick a new domain because OpenGraph Watch is not going to continue like that, and I also want to change the framing a bit of the work that I do. It's crazy what new kinds of top-level domains there are. So, are we done? Check G Cloud. Too bad. Would have known it very good. Yeah, but that's not what you are going to use. You're going to log into a different account. No, we are going to use a different project. And I still need to... Oh. Okay, sorry that I'm blocking the stream, but picking the domain is such an important decision. You're gonna buy it and then you're never gonna use it again. I guess I will take a break from streaming, make my decision, and then I will stream again a little bit later. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.